Okay, hi, welcome everybody. This is Dan Smoller from the Henry S. Olcott Memorial Library with an edition of Featured Favorites. It's my honor to have special guest Ruben here. I wanted Ruben to do a longer interview, talk about his history in Theosophy, but he said he doesn't want to get too attached to his personality. So,
never mind.
Right, but Ruben,
No, I'll say something.
Okay, so maybe we can start with when you got started with Theosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, some 50 or so years ago, I'm pretty religious. I go to church very often, but there came a time when I was something was bothering me. I felt that I'm missing something. So I went from church to church, and none of those churches satisfied my longing. I was looking for something, but I don't know what. And then I was in the Navy then. I was in my 20s. And maybe I was 21, 22 when I happened to pass by a friend's desk in the Navy, in the office, and I saw a book, and the title was First Principles of Theosophy. And the word theosophy just seemed to ring a bell. And then I was curious. I picked it up and then look at it, and I was so excited. And I asked the guy where he got it. He said, "Oh, there's a captain, a Navy captain, who is distributing these books to everybody." So I said, "Can I borrow it?" "Oh, sure, you can have it." And I brought it home, and I cannot lay it down. I stood the whole night. I read it. About 300 or so pages. I finished that. And the next day, I asked the guy. I said, "Who lent you this?" "Oh, a captain," he said. Okay, I got his name, and I went to his office right away. And I said, "Is there any organization that is teaching this?" He just pulled his drawer and gave me a form, application form for membership. So right there and then I became a member. And I think it was a Friday. And he said, "This coming Sunday we have a meeting." And he gave me the address. But I was a member already when I signed the form. I gave him my membership fee.
And so this was about 60 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And you're in the service, and you just knew right away, and obviously it has not worn off. It's gotten your connection has gotten stronger.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
So from then on, and 3 months later, they asked me to give a lecture in Theosophy.
So you must have been doing some reading.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And so you just right away you just dove into it, and you found your home. You knew you had your home. Could you talk about any of the other books? Give us any other titles or authors even that you especially liked or still like?
Right now they are all classic, and the books that you have here, we cannot find in other libraries, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a big privilege and a big opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that you are holding these books here.
Yeah.
And not only the books, but the old magazines.
Yeah, the old Theosophist and
the Theosophist, and some other things which are loaded with a lot of information.
Yeah.
And
so can I ask you about your experience of when you first started to read The Secret Doctrine?
Oh yeah, I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
But it's a daunting
Yeah.
It's a daunting book to read. And HPB herself said that you cannot read it from page 1 to page to that. You have to read it at random, depending on your interest.
Right.
And that's one way of reading it.
And so you read The Secret throughout the years, then you've
Oh, yeah.
been reading and studying, but also meditating on The Secret.
I meditated on it, and after 5 years, I started teaching it. For the things I know. I knew then. And as time goes by, after 10 years, what I knew then is a different story.
Really?
Yeah. I have to change my views.
So
as I go older and older, studying some other books, so I have to go back to the Secret Doctrine, reread it, and I understand it differently than the first one. So there is no end.
There's no end to it, which is probably the situation with truth, right? I mean, there's just we're never gonna.
And you cannot believe. Belief is I don't depend on belief, because what I believed then 10 years ago is different than what I believe now. It changes. It improves. I hope.
Yeah.
That's my experience. And I like the authors, A.E. Powell, Krishnamurti, of course, is very good. Annie Besant and Leadbeater.
So can we talk about those authors a little bit individually? So I know, like, for example, Krishnamurti is in a way a very different take on spirituality than The Secret Doctrine. Or no?
No, but you have to be. I think you have to be experienced to understand Krishnamurti. You have to be in a certain level of consciousness to understand his teaching. Otherwise, you will misunderstand it.
Now, how early in your theosophical path did you start reading Krishnamurti?
When
right away.
Yeah, right away.
Right away. So you started right away with kind of the big stuff.
Yeah, but I was not really attracted to him immediately.
Okay.
Until I started reading his books.
Mm-hmm.
And what attracted me particularly is his awareness. The awareness principle that he was teaching. Not the, you don't need this, you don't need that. I just ignore that.
Sure.
Because I figure out that he must be advanced, that he was talking about himself, that he doesn't need those anymore. But the other people who are less advanced than he is may need that.
Yes.
Yeah, as a guide, like from kindergarten to first grade, from elementary to high school to college, different stages. You cannot expect a intermediate student to learn calculus, and that is what the Secret Doctrine is. It's a doctorate degree to understand it.
And Annie Besant, what is it about her example and her teaching that you like?
What I learned is there are many things in the Secret Doctrine that when it was written by HPB, that there are items there or subjects or topics that she cannot elaborate.
Okay.
Because at that time, she was not allowed to divulge the secrets, some of the secrets or the deeper meanings of what she's talking about in the Secret Doctrine. But then when Leadbeater and Annie Besant joined the society, I think their masters taught them a lot and allowed them to divulge some of the secrets that HPB was not allowed to the public.
Do you know why?
Because during the HPB's time, I think the masters or the group believe that humanity is not ready for those teachings, and they will just destroy it. But when Annie Besant and Leadbeater's time came, they allowed it little by little. For example, they were not teaching the chakras. And if you read the collected writings of HPB, she depicted the chakra there in a different way. She has an illustration on that volume 12, I think. Illustration of the figure of a human being with lines to different circles, pointing to the general position of the chakras. And she depicted the chakras as circles, different colors, not the exact appearance, and she did not call it chakra, and that was only taught to an inner circle, not the public.
So Annie Besant was able to clarify and further explain some things that were introduced by Blavatsky.
Yes, what their master did was to help them develop their psychic, their clairvoyance, and ask them to investigate, to make it authentic.
And what is it about? How would you yourself talk about the difference between Leadbeater's writing and Annie Besant's writing?
I think there is no difference.
Okay.
They are both writing the same thing because they have their master. No, Annie Besant, I think her master is Master Moria, and Leadbeater is Master Kutumi. But they were both trained to use their psychic abilities so that they can investigate and write about it. And I think their first book was the occult chemistry, where they investigated the atom, and for the first time the real atom was published in a book in detail.
And later, it was later verified. Much of what they said by regular.
Science now is slowly like the quark.
Yeah.
That's almost the same as the occult chemistry. And then they elaborated on the teachings of the secret doctrine by publishing the different planes of nature, and they revised the nomenclature.
I see.
Of its plane.
So in a way, then the understanding of this modern edition of Theosophy with our society has multiple people working to help teach it and explain it.
And make it more simpler and easier to understand, because HPB was using the Hindu, the ancient, the Sanskrit terminology. Which is very difficult to understand and very confusing. And I think the secret doctrine, some of the items there were really changed. They did not really, it did not really tell the truth.
Okay.
But there was some masking, which Leadbeater and Annie Besant clarified later on. It's not the fault of HPB because she was under instruction. And she knows all those things that Leadbeater and Annie Besant wrote. She knows that, but she cannot write it when she was writing in the secret doctrine. That is why in our study in the library, even in the Mahatma letters, they did not reveal it. They were covering it up. That's why I mentioned, they made this confusing so that the public will not understand it.
But they were still talking about it in order to, well, I guess they didn't know that the Mahatma letters to Senate, they didn't know they'd be published right away.
Yes, but still, they can tell the future. The future is open to them, and they know what's going to happen.
So, with A.E. Powell, you mentioned A.E. Powell.
A.E. Powell was a colonel in the British army.
Okay.
And he has a very keen mind. What he did was to compile, like his brain is like a computer. He gathered all the data and compiled it into different books. Because the books that Leadbeater and Annie Besant and all other authors were numerous with almost the same subject. They're talking about the same subject. So he combined all those facts that they wrote in different books.
Yeah.
And published it in a book that all the information were there.
Now, we've talked about books a little bit, so I just want to ask you a couple other questions. So, let's say somebody says, Ruben, what is theosophy to you? Is it possible to give a...
Well, theosophy, the word theosophy is very ancient. I think it came from, it's a Greek word which is theos. Theos meaning God, and sophos meaning teaching. So God's teaching or God's knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what it meant.
Yeah.
Theos, God, sophos, teachings or knowledge. So, or divine wisdom.
And so one way divine wisdom comes to us, of course, is through the gift of these great books that our library has so much of.
Oh yes, it's.
But what are some other ways that theosophy might come to a person other than?
Well, actually, when I was born in a family that believes in karma and reincarnation, they were talking about karma, reincarnation. They are talking about all these things that was in theosophy, a portion, not all. That's why I think when I was growing up, I was influenced by that, and despite my religious affiliation and interest, it was limited as far as I'm concerned, because maybe I was recalling those things that I was exposed during my childhood, and I was craving for more.
Yeah.
And then when I encountered theosophy, wow, this is nothing new. It's a eureka, I found it.
You know, I have to say, one thing I've noticed about you is that you're almost always laughing. You always seem to be filled with joy or kind of you find something kind of humorous. Have you always been that way?
No.
No.
Nope.
So when did that start?
Well, it came in stages.
Okay.
Because I met some accidents that I should have been dead.
Okay.
And I think every after that, I have a new. I was new, practically a new life.
Yeah.
And I think that incident about 4 or 5.
Really? Okay.
So I was joking that this is my 5th reincarnation.
You know?
Because every time I undergo that, I was different.
Really? So like a little freer, a little lighter, or
no, a different perspective, different view of life, and
but you almost died like 4 or 5 times.
Yes.
So that's a tough way to get.
I was kidnapped, and there was already a grave for me. That's one of them, and I just talked my way out. I don't know how I did it. I was so scared in my life. But you know, the emotion was scared, but the mind was so active.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a person who's new to theosophy and they say, where should I start?
Start with the basic.
Okay. Let's say somebody tries to start with the secret doctrine and their head is spinning.
No, that's not a good start. It will be confusing. The secret doctrine is too advanced, even now. Even if we discover some of those things that HPV was hiding, it will still be bad. Because I believe, in this my only opinion, I believe that when the secret doctrine was written, that's the time that the masters decided to withdraw from the public's exposure. But they substituted something for their presence to take over their presence by having HPB write the secret doctrine, which teachings will come from them if they are exposed. So these teachings in the secret doctrine are for those who are ready to walk the path, the disciples, for the disciples, and they are the only ones who will understand it, because they were being taught, and that will be the reference.
So what would be maybe another place to start for a new person?
The books of Annie Besant and
Leadbeater, okay.
Because it's written for the public.
Okay.
And everything is there.
Okay. Did you notice that as you entered your theosophical path and your spiritual path in a serious way, that your karma, sometimes people use this phrase, your karma speeds up or something, and as you become initiated or deeper into the path, more stuff happens to you?
Well, I don't want to think that I'm in the path because only my higher self know that. And to think that is to be ego.
Yeah.
And that's the most dangerous part of seeking this knowledge.
I see.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And we are told that we should forget the self, the personality.
Yeah. And then I noticed too that you're always doing service work. You always want to do something around here to help.
I think it's in the blood because since I was a kid,
yeah,
I prefer service.
Yeah.
In fact, I have chosen service for money. I could be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I have all the opportunities to be a millionaire, but I said that my goal this lifetime is service. So I was doing service, not because of ambition, but it's there. I cannot help it.
You've also joked around that you're also very mischievous as a kid.
Oh yes, mischievous. I was naughty.
Naughty. So how?
My mother is complaining that she said, "My son just disappear and then appear as he wants it. He doesn't even tell anybody where he's going. He just appear and disappear."
And you seem to never get too worried about anything. Why is that? How come you never get worried about anything? You don't seem to ever
I don't know. I worry.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I worry,
okay.
but I don't show it.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
I think that's
just part of being
alive.
I
want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
I think that's part of our learning. So, and I hope I can get rid of it.
And then, of course, if would you share a little bit about has meditation also been a part of your spiritual path?
Yes, I know when I started meditating, when we were taught here in the TS to meditate. I tried to recall my younger years, and I think I was 9 or 11 that I disappeared because I was in a place. I have a private place.
Yeah.
In the area that we live, that nobody can see me, and I recall that I was doing something, and now I learned that it was meditation. I was meditating already during that time.
Yeah.
But I'm not aware that that's meditation. I thought it's just natural. I just sat down there quiet and thinking about things, about life. I was thinking, why am I here? That's the question I have at that age. Why am I here? What's my purpose? And why am I feeling pain? Why am I suffering? And why are people suffering? And then I said, and where is justice? Why is it that, because I heard that some innocent person was in prison or executed, and the person is innocent. Where's justice? Those are the questions that I was.
So it was in your blood too. Meditation was in your blood.
I don't know. I just said that.
Yeah.
I was doing that when I recalled what I was doing, but during that time, I didn't know that is meditation.
Are there different kinds of meditation techniques you use?
Oh well, the one that we were taught, because that the discipline, in the esoteric school.
Oh, okay.
We cannot use any other.
That's okay. How about what do you think? I know we're getting off the track a little bit, but as long as you're sitting here, what about trying to introduce Theosophy to young people? Let's say children. What would you recommend?
You notice our daughter, Ati.
Yeah.
I was not really teaching her directly, but we are trying to, in the house, we were trying to practice Theosophy.
Yeah.
And we talk about Theosophy also. And she, when I'm giving lectures, she attended my lecture. And we were surprised that she got it without us teaching her.
Yeah.
And when she was in this North high school, Wheaton North, most of her classmates were asking her why she is a vegetarian. And her answer, we didn't teach her about vegetarianism. We are just vegetarian. And she said that the reason is she doesn't like to use animals as food, because she doesn't want the animals killed for food. So
it's very mature. Is there a favorite aspect of the Theosophical teaching to you, or is it all together? Certain aspects you especially
I think the most important thing that the masters are emphasizing is karma and reincarnation.
Okay.
Because if people know about karma and reincarnation, they will not be doing all these foolish things, because they know that there is justice. And also the principle that we are our own lawgiver, we are our own judge, we are the perpetrator, the judge, and anything that happens to us is our own doing, and that's where karma comes in, and we cannot blame anybody.
Everything is fair.
Yeah. And that's the reason why when I'm giving a lecture, I ask the public, I said, why is it that when we suffer, we are blaming God? We are asking God, why are you doing this to me? And then when we have some fortune, we win the sweepstakes. We are not complaining.
Right. Look what I did.
Where is the fairness? I don't think you are fair to God if you blame Him when you are suffering, because nobody else can be blamed except us, because we are the perpetrator. So that's karma. And then how can we evolve spiritually if there is no reincarnation? If this is only one time, one lifetime, how about those miserable people? They don't have a chance to evolve, to find themselves. They will be in hell forever and ever. So that's the reincarnation and karma is the most important thing. And we learned that in Theosophy, when creation or manifestation started, karma and reincarnation, the law of karma and reincarnation started with it. It's there already, immediately. So it's very important. And I think that's what the masters are emphasizing. Instead of one life only, it's impossible to evolve spiritually.
So there's no hurry.
No hurry. And this life to our soul is only one day. It's very fast. It's a blink of an eye as far as they are concerned, the soul, our spiritual soul. That's why I'm not really, when I'm seeing that this body is becoming harder to harder to operate, I'm willing to go and have a different one.
Yeah.
Well, better or worse, for better or worse, depending on my karma.
So I know you don't want to talk about your personality, but you've done a lot, even just around here. Didn't you design the furnace system that we have here or something?
The control.
The control. And Jim Bosco took me down there one time and showed me the panel, and there's about 17,000 wires going. Now, how did you learn that?
Well, I meditated that. Well, in the Navy, I was also I also solved some problems in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Guam where I was taking maintenance sonar.
Okay.
You know, anti-submarine sonar, and they have a new one from the States, a new model, and they have a problem. And the instructor told me that they have a problem, but they can, for several months they've been looking for it. And then I was in the process of looking at we troubleshoot the sonar, not by going to the machine itself, but through the diagram. Looking at the diagram, you have to troubleshoot it. You have to know what part is defective by not going there and measuring things. So that's how we were taught. And then I found something unusual. I think it's intuitional. Okay. And then I called the instructor. I said, "There's something wrong with this." And I described to him what's the problem. And then he said, "You know, that is our problem."
Now, no, so it just seems like, and you've also, I know I've talked to people who golf with you, and you're also a very good golfer, and I know that you're a good painter. I've seen your painting. You're also a photographer. So how do all these things come to you? Is this your concentration that you're able to learn these things?
I don't know, because since childhood, I'm interested on so many things.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was a kid, small kid, I was envisioning that I will be a priest and at the same time a ship captain.
Yeah.
You know, when you are a child, isn't it?
Romantic.
You are, and that's what I had in mind, daydreaming. And then I became a priest and a ship captain in real life when I grew up.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? And so maybe this thing about having this mischievous mind, this mind that goes in all directions, maybe that's good for Theosophy, because Theosophy covers so much.
I don't know. Because I was born as a kid, and I was trying to.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a kid, a kid. Why is it that they removed the life of Jesus, his teenage life, from the Bible? Because he was naughty.
Maybe.
They don't want to talk about him. His naughtiness.
Maybe. So I'm out of questions. So I want to thank you. It's really an honor to have you around here. Your example teaches us all so much, but also you're filled with so much joy that it's just great to have you around. And
that was not intentional.
Well, however it happened. So Ruben Convicting, thank you very much for your example and for your advice and for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.